So this December 8th, I was hoping to hold my solosexual wedding. I've been happily in love with myself for 11 years now, but unfortunately, it looks like I won't be having a lot of guests if I hold it this December 8th. So I'll have to think about another important date in my life. But this December 8th is going to be a tricky anniversary for me. So December 8th, 2011, I wrote my first computer game. It was for the game of Othello. I was getting ready to graduate with my PhD. At the time, I was happily solosexual already by this point, but at the time it was not very well received. And I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, and I was terrified because I was graduating in a few weeks, and all the other graduations I went to, the people had a significant other. Some people had children, actually. I was terrified because you got to remember 10 years ago, especially for a PhD candidate, it was weird to be single. And we've come a long way in 10 years, though. I do private tutoring, and sometimes some of the high school students that I tutor are happily solosexual. They don't realize it's called being solosexual, and they're very well received for it. And this year we've gone back to going to prom, and some of the kids that I'm tutoring have gone to prom as a solosexual. I'm very pleased to see that. When I was in high school, that was definitely not received at all, right? It's kind of like in the 1970s if you tried to be gay, right? Anyway, so December 8th, 2011, I wrote my first computer game hoping to stir up some attention to meet somebody. It didn't turn out that way, but instead I discovered my calling, so that's good. Now the problem is I also commiserate a loss in my life. When I was in college, gotta remember, solosexuality was not very well received. I wanted to approach this girl in my classroom. I was scared to death, and I confided in a friend of mine. He had a lot of friends, and he was jumping. I felt it was unfair because one Friday he had broken up with his girlfriend, and on Monday he had another girlfriend. And meanwhile, year after year is passing for me, and I'm not messing around with that stuff. I just felt it was really unfair. It's kind of weird for me to say it that way, but I confided in him, and he helped me with some words of wisdom for how to approach this girl. And I tried it, it didn't work, but instead I made a close friend. Now, unfortunately, he passed away last year. The reason I confided in him was he had a lot of friends. He was never more than 6 feet away from anybody, and unfortunately, that's what killed him a year ago on December 8th. So now December 8th is a really tricky anniversary for me, but I think he would be very pleased to see that I had become happily solosexual after all that. And so that's why I wanted to hold the wedding on December 8th. Hopefully another December 8th, or another significant date in my life. I'll definitely go on a long intermittent fast on December 8th to mourn the loss, and to celebrate my victory with my computer games.